Welcome to Massive Late Fee. And now your hosts, Mark and Carol. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Massive Late Fee. My name is Mark. With me as always is my girlfriend Carol. How you doing, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
We've had a good week here at Massive Late Fee. The show is getting some attention from around the world.
What?
I've heard from some people that we have some people that have received tapes from as far away as Ireland, the UK.
What?
Yeah, even Germany.
Wow.
So, wie geht's, German listeners? Let's see, what other German do I remember? Du bist stark.
What does that mean?
You are strong.
Okay.
Und wir haben ein gut Show. Whatever show is that?
The only German I know is Ich bin ein Berliner.
I am a donut.
Yep.
Well, it means literally I am from Berlin, but there was a popular donut called the Berliner at that point. So, yeah, that was the embarrassment there. President Kennedy should have read up on his German a little bit more. But anyway, have fun in the Stadt, and that's German for city, or Burg, or Dorf. That's village, and whatever. Anyway, I know some German, so come at me. I don't know. Anyway,
Come at me?
yeah, I don't know what that means. So in the news today, there's some OJ news.
Okay, let's hear it.
If you're interested in hearing more about the juice, I know last week you said that you're kind of sick of talking about it.
Yeah, but I don't think the people buying the tapes are, so.
Well, apparently there was a clerk that says that he sold the knife to OJ Simpson.
All right.
Or sold a knife to OJ Simpson. A knife that could have been used in the brutal slaying of Nicole and Ronald. Apparently, that he was paid $12,500 by the National Enquirer for his story
Oh my goodness.
about selling this folding knife. And he said he would share the payment with the owners of the store. And so they're arguing. OJ's lawyer, Robert Shapiro, is arguing that this evidence shouldn't go to trial, all that stuff.
Well, yeah, if it was paid for, that doesn't seem right.
If his story was paid for, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but they do that all the time. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's lying.
No, it doesn't mean that he's lying, but, I mean, he could be. He could be because he was given money, and how do you know?
Yeah.
People don't get paid for testimony.
No, he's getting paid for his story for the Enquirer. I mean, there's a lot of people that are writing books, or, I'm sure there will be people making money off this in one way or another. Eventually, they'll make a TV movie or something like that.
Yeah, we'll see. People are screwed up.
Yep, the whole world is. Speaking of screwed up, CBS. I'm not a big fan of CBS. CBS is merging with QVC.
QVC.
Quality, value, convenience. They're the place where everyone's mom goes to at 11 o'clock at night and says, "Oh, I need that. I want to buy that."
Oh, yeah, the shopping channel.
Yeah, it's where you can shop from home. You just call up somebody, call up the phone number and order something, and they send it to you in the mail. Crazy.
That always seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, go out to the store and look at what you're buying. I mean, all this stuff could be incredibly low-grade, terrible crap. Who would shop from their home?
I don't know. I like going shopping.
Exactly. Make a day of it. Apparently, QVC's chairman is Barry Diller, and for some reason the paper needs to designate that he's 52 years old. I don't know why.
Weird.
But he's a programming whiz who once headed Fox, so, Fox is a bit of a joke.
Right.
But anyway, I don't think he's the person that discovered The Simpsons, which is The Simpsons and Married with Children is basically all Fox is. So he's going to become chief executive at CBS, and Lawrence Tisch, 71, will remain chairman. I know that Les Moonves is the big guy in charge of CBS. I assume that's CBS. I assume that's not going to change. But anyway, CBS had been the number one network in viewership for 3 years. When? In the 70s? But it has been bruised by the loss of several, continued on next page. So I'm not going to go that far into it. But anyway, so CBS, QVC, teaming up. What do you think? Do you think? I mean, obviously they're not going to have home shopping on CBS, other than those late night infomercials that all the channels do.
I don't know. I don't care.
Oh,
We're
okay.
talking business right now. Like, I know it's entertainment business, but it's business, and it kind of makes my brain glaze over like a donut. Ich bin ein Berliner.
Okay. Did you see that Pearl Jam testified before Congress?
What?
Yeah, one of your favorite bands.
Why?
Pearl Jam, Jeff.
You know, every time I hear the words Pearl Jam now, all I do is picture a penis with a little bead of cum.
Oh my God!
You've ruined it for me.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway, their bassist Jeff Ament and guitarist Stone Gossard, one of the best names in rock and roll, Stone Gossard, appeared before a House subcommittee because they don't like the ticketing policy of what's it called, Ticketmaster and some of these other places. They think that they overcharge service fees and things like that, and they testified before Congress to that fact.
Huh. Well, good for them. They're looking out for people.
Pearl Jam would like to have its prices be $18 a ticket, and limit the service charges to 10%. So no one would pay more than $20 to see Pearl Jam.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's what they'd like to do, but they can't because their tickets are generally more than $100 because of all these service fees and the way that Ticketmaster does its pricing. So that's what they're arguing against. They'd like those things changed. And I think that the artists should have some control over how much money their tickets go for.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like if you make something and you sell it, you should be able to say how much you're charging for it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the story there. Now, Tori Amos.
Yay,
Are
Tori
you
Amos.
familiar with Tori Amos's work?
Why are you saying her name all weird? It's Tori Amos.
Tori Amos.
Not Amos, Amos. Tori Amos.
Tori Amos?
Amos.
Is that how she says her name?
That's
Tori?
how she says her name.
Tori Amos. I've always said Tori Amos.
I don't
My
know
whole
why.
life I've always said Tori Amos. Because her name is spelled Amos. Tori Amos.
Oh, anyway, what about her?
Okay, so Tori Osmosis has some ideas for new songs she'd like to write. One of them, giving advice to God.
What?
Yeah, she says she likes radical ideas, and she wants to do a song where she's singing to God. Apparently, her new album's called Under the Pink. Wonder what that means.
Oh, please don't.
What?
Don't ruin that for me, too.
God, sometimes you just don't come through. That's one of the lines. And she says, I'm basically seducing God.
What?
I put my high heels
Oh.
on and get my little jar of milk and brown sugar out and get the kettle on and say, come on, buddy, sit down, have a cup of tea. You need some advice.
I liked Tori Amos.
You
and
don't like
now
that?
I don't think I like her anymore. I'm sad.
Well, I mean, I think it's fine to, you know, kind of, I don't know, it's a radical idea.
Seducing God?
I think what she's talking about is like seducing him to come and have a conversation with her. That's, as she goes on, that's what it seems like she's talking about.
I guess. I mean, I know she's weird. Like, at the end of her music, she, like, thanks the fairies and stuff, like, at the end of her tracks.
Maybe it was the fairies that changed the pronunciation of her last name.
It's Amos.
Tori Aimless.
Amos?
Uh-huh. There's a little review in here, too, for the movie Blown Away that just came out. And basically saying it doesn't hold up to Speed. That Tommy Lee Jones and Jeff Bridges are fine, but Speed is way better than Blown Away. We haven't seen Blown Away, so I can't say. And I will not be seeing Blown Away.
Yeah, I mean, especially when we're already hearing it's not as good. Why bother?
Yeah, I don't have much of a interest in it, so, you know. I did watch... Do you ever watch Regis and Kathy Lee?
Yeah.
I watch them every once in a while. You know what else is great? Is on Channel 20 during the day, right before Highway to Heaven and Alf, in reruns. Guess what else is in reruns?
What?
I'll give you a hint. Bum 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 bum.
Oh, jeez. Not this song again. Oh, he's obsessed.
St. Elsewhere.
Yeah, St. Elsewhere.
Yeah, this week, Bypass. Morrison must treat a terrorist. Yeah, you know who plays that terrorist?
Who?
What's his name? Tim Robbins.
Okay.
Yeah, the one that was in, not The Natural, but Bull Durham. Yeah, he plays a very young. Tim Robbins plays a terrorist. It's great. It's a really good episode. He bombs it's a 2-part episode. He bombs a hospital. But anyway, so I watch St. Elsewhere a lot. On noon, Channel 20, WXON. Everybody.
Yeah, it's a fine show. It's just not as great as you like to say it is.
You know, it comes on right before it at 11 o'clock.
What?
Magnum PI.
Okay.
Well, you liked Magnum PI.
Yeah, when I was 5.
Okay. Maybe not quite that young, sweetie. But yeah, Magnum PI.
According to my mother, my first crush was Tom Selleck.
I believe it.
He is a handsome man.
Well, I have, quite a mustache. Or
you do.
something.
What?
Nothing, I don't know. All right, so that's the news. A lot of ammunition you're giving me here for these news stories.
I'm sorry.
It's like working with a wall.
Hey.
Yeah?
It's, business is boring.
The business of boring is business.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so, massive love. You have talked about maybe not doing this every week or not doing it as much because, I don't know, it doesn't seem like they changed all that often.
Right.
How many of these people you really think find love then if they're in the same week over and over and over again?
Well, I mean, they're people who've been passed over and passed over and passed over, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to assume that's going to continue to happen. I mean, just because... now, if we could hook them up together, like, seriously, I think we should do a service and just hook them all up with each other. That might work, but...
Yeah, we could use the internet. We'll connect them through there since you think it's not cheating anyway.
Well, I mean, not all these people are married. Just a large percentage of them.
Like this dude. A very, very passionate, very assertive, take charge white man, so like all white men, 40, seeks compliant yet affectionate woman for passion and adventure. I think this is the same guy that he just reworded it when he took out the hair pulling and stuff like that.
Oh my God.
Remember that guy?
Yeah.
It sounds like the same guy.
Well, he's definitely got a similar fetish.
Oh wait, no. Here he is. Caveman seeks compliant cavewoman.
So they both want compliant women.
Yeah, that's hot, right?
I'm glad you don't think so.
Two of these guys, because this is the men seeking women section. Two of these guys start their little ad out with the word Camelot.
Huh.
Camelot, handsome knight, 37, 5'8", 160 pounds, seeks his princess between 25 and 35 years. So she's got to be younger. To share with him their monogamous, committed kingdom forever. I mean, that's kind of nice. Monogamous.
Yeah.
It's basically saying I'm not going to cheat on you. Although if you have to advertise that,
Right.
Might have had some problems in the past.
Look at the one by the heart. A handsome, long-haired Viking with a heart of gold seeking his princess.
Wow. A long-haired Viking.
What in the world?
I have no idea.
I'm picturing him actually wearing like a Viking hat on their first date.
Habitless.
So boring.
Good investment. Speaking of business, good investment. Single black male, 34, 5'6". Ooh, a little short. Medium build with good income. Seeking to spoil single female, any race. Under 5'4". Gotta be shorter. Makes sense. Small to medium build. Age 18 to 30.
How old is he?
34.
Okay. What is it with these guys always wanting younger women?
Yeah, I don't know.
Guys make me sick.
I mean, I want younger women, but that's because I'm a younger man. So.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not that much younger than you.
No. You're only a year younger than me. But, like, I mean, you know, like, I wouldn't be attracted to a 30-year-old woman.
But when you're 34, maybe you will be.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's all relative, you know. Like, when I'm 60, I'll probably be attracted to a 60-year-old woman. I mean, I know we won't be married, so. Because you've already said several times that that's not happening.
I didn't say it's not happening. I said it's too early to talk about it.
Okay. Well, how about we experience fun times? Man, woman, man.
What in the world?
Okay. MWM, I'm guessing...
Married white male.
Oh, okay, thank you. And couple with bi-female seeking females for discreet rendezvous, open to all ideas. Wait, what? Okay, a married white man and couple?
So...
He's got a couple with him already? Who's already got a bi-female?
Yeah, this is really confusing.
And they're seeking other females for discreet rendezvous, open to all ideas, so they're out of ideas. They've tried every depraved thing they could think of, and they're like, "Hey, we need some help. Any of you guys got any ideas?"
What? Where's his wife?
Is she part of the couple? I don't understand.
That would make more sense, okay? Married white male in a couple.
Right.
With a bi woman.
Right.
Looking for another woman. That makes sense. That is not what he wrote.
It makes sense to me, too. A guy with 3 women. That makes sense to me.
No. 2 women.
No. Well, yeah, but they're seeking another one. It's him, his wife, their bi-female that they've got with them.
Well, I thought his wife was the bi-female.
And they're seeking more females. Oh, maybe. I don't know. Is that what he's saying? He's saying he's in a couple with a bi-female and they're looking for another female?
I think that's what he's saying.
Okay. That does make more sense. Long-haired Harley rider.
Ew.
Really? I thought you'd like that.
Why?
You like motorcycles, don't you?
No.
Oh. Well, he's age 31, and he seeks woman who enjoys wild side of life. No wannabes. Mid-Michigan area. So, nowhere. In the middle of nowhere.
What does that mean, no wannabes?
You can't be a wannabe. You gotta live the true Harley lifestyle.
Okay, but if he wants a girl like that, that's not a girl. That's like jock. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree with you. I'm not my cup of tea. How about sexy senior ladies? Where are you? A white, good-looking, stylish 50s guy seeks... Does he mean fit by 50s guy? Does he mean like the 1950s, or he's in his 50s?
That's a good question. Because, okay, if he was a teenager in the 50s, then he would be in his 60s?
Yeah, could be in his late 50s, though.
So either way could work?
Seeks a sensual, uninhabited female partner, 50 to 62, for special care.
What? Does he need somebody to change his diapers?
No, I think he wants to give her special care.
Does he want to change her diapers?
I think that's what it is. He is looking for someone that wears Depends.
Ew.
It's my neglected married or single woman. Wait, what? Neglected single or married woman sought by 35-year-old white male. That's such a weird, like, passive way to write that sentence.
Yeah.
For discreet mutual satisfaction. Gotta be mutual. Looks, size, age, unimportant. I don't care.
Wow.
That is definitely a dude.
Very desperate.
You might as well be a rock. A rock with a hole in it.
Ew.
That's enough for me. Let's see. Let's look at some of these help wanted.
Okay.
Let's see. If any of you are looking for a job, here are some jobs that you might be able to do. Chemical loader. Individual must be 18 years or older with a high school diploma or equivalent. This position requires lifting, climbing. What are you climbing? And some mechanical aptitude, as well as working in all types of weather conditions. This job consists of transferring acids and caustic soda from rail cars to storage tanks to tank trailers. Chemical experience is preferred, but not required. Yo, trust me, you'll get your chemical experience. Those first chemical burns will be a lot of experience for you. Please complete an application at the guard gate across from the PVS Chemicals corporate building at 10900 Harper Avenue, Detroit. Anyone want to become the Phantom of the Opera?
What? Oh,
Go get your
chemical burn.
Yeah, go get your face burned with acid.
Alrighty.
What?
Boring mill operator? Is that what that says?
Yeah, well, I don't see where that is, but
There's a big
right there.
star. next
Yeah,
to it?
yeah, boring mill operator.
What the hell does that mean, boring mill operator?
You have to be a boring person to operate this mill. They don't want any excitement in the mill. No, a boring mill is something that bores holes.
Oh, okay. Oh, and then there's one that says die tryout. D-I-E, die.
Night shift. Excellent benefits and overtime available. Apply in person. Atlas Tool. You don't understand a lot of these words. Die, tool and die. They manufacture tools.
But isn't it dye, like, dyeing your hair, like D-Y-E?
No, tool and die is D-I-E.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
my dad's friend is a tool and die guy.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. None of these other ones seem funny to
Detroit
me.
Symphony Orchestra. That sounds cool.
Looking for the perfect part-time job? If you are outgoing, articulate, and love great music, you found it. Work in a fun, supportive environment. Evenings and weekends, cash bonuses, hourly plus commission, will train. For what? Oh,
Right.
fundraising.
Fundraising.
For the Detroit Symphony Orchestra. Okay. I mean, hey, if you're looking for some commission and you think you're a good salesman, why don't you fundraise for the Detroit Symphony Orchestra?
Sure.
And as always, the number for this is 1-900-933-9099 for the Love Line stuff. It's $2 per minute, by the way, guys. So that's how you respond to an ad. You dial that number and then you enter their little bonus code there. I really want to do this with Assalamu Alaikum.
Right? Is he still there this week?
Maybe we should see if... maybe we should do the call on the air and see. We'll just pretend we're a black male and a black female.
See what he wants.
Right. Actually, I do not see him.
Oh, he found them.
He's going to start a new nation, guys.
Be afraid.
Oh, wait, no, there he is.
Oh.
Assalamu alaikum. Muslim minister seeks black female 18 and up to learn Islam, believe, obey God, Quran, Jesus Bible, and establish a nation. Oh my God.
So messed up.
Yeah, this guy's a freak. But yeah, new nation. So if you want to be the new Adam and Eve for a new weird Christian Muslim mixed nation, I don't know what their plans are after that, but probably gun ownership is a plus in that for that ad.
Well, we'll see in 25, 30 years. Maybe he will unleash his nation.
Yeah, there will be a new nation of Islam in the United States here. And I don't know. Their first act will be, bombing something.
God, I hope not. Oh, what a terrible thing to say. Why do you got to go there?
Well, it's weird. It's weird.
It is weird.
Establish a nation, a violent overthrow of the government.
Maybe it's a peaceful nation.
A peaceful nation within the United States? They try. Well, so what's he going to do? Annex part of the United States?
Know.
They tried that. It was called the Civil War.
Whatever.
It wasn't a peaceful nation, but
I just don't like thinking about people dying in bombs and stuff.
Most people do. I don't know.
It's a fun Saturday night.
Speaking of a fun Saturday night, let's tell the people about 90210.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, you're into this. I can tell.
Oh, I'm so tired today, guys. Sorry. Okay, so 90210 this week, kind of terrible episode, really. I'm starting to not love it as much. I mean, like, I was enjoying watching, the new stuff on TV, but watching the old episodes kind of sucks.
Yeah, the first season's not great.
So in this one, Brenda's trying to learn to drive.
Yeah. Apparently
she failed driver's ed 2 or 3 times before they moved.
Yeah, but the first time was only 20 minutes, so it didn't count. That's sort of like the first time we had...
Hey!
What? It was only 20 minutes, so I don't count that.
Well, you wish.
Hour or longer. What? If you have some grievances, you can air them right now.
Oh, I have no grievances, love.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm all distracted now. Okay, so Brenda's trying to learn to drive.
Yeah.
And she actually gets in an accident when she's with the driver's ed instructor, which is kind of funny because, like, it kind of reminded me of when I was learning to drive. And I almost got in an accident. But, my driver actually hit the brake and stopped that.
Yeah, this guy was a moron.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, he caused the accident by they're driving, and he's like, oh, that's Henry Winkler. First of all, who cares? How long ago was Happy Days? Does anyone care what Henry Winkler is up to now? Yeah, I saw Night Shift on TV the other night. Great. That was 1983. Like,
right.
He hasn't been in anything that's mattered for at least 10 years. So... yeah, first of all, who cares if it's Henry Winkler? You're in Beverly Hills. So he's like, oh, I think that's Henry Winkler. And he's like, you've got the right of way, go. So she starts going, and she's like, oh, that's not Henry Winkler. And then she's staring at the guy because, he said something. And she's like, oh, that is Henry Winkler. And then, he says, oh, watch out. And then they, they're going right in front of a car. And then they cut to black because they don't have the budget to show an actual car accident.
Right.
But yeah, so she gets in an accident, all his fault.
Yeah, it was definitely his fault. And I mean, I don't know, did you get the impression that he had the ability to stop the car?
I mean, I don't know. He's supposed to.
I thought all driver's ed vehicles had that. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Brakes
yeah.
on his side, yeah.
Idiot. Okay. So we know she is not a good driver. We've established that. And then Brandon goes to work, and Kelly calls her. Now, Kelly has invited her to go to Janet Jackson concert?
Yeah, the Janet Jackson concert.
With her and some 2 guys, so double date in a limo.
Yeah.
And she turns this down.
To study.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, yes, her mom told her that I guess Monday through Thursday she has to be studying because I guess she's not doing great in school, but
Yeah, she can't go out or whatever.
who wouldn't make an exception for that?
I thought she was supposed to get straight A's, by the way. She got straight A's in Minnesota.
Yeah, but she's not now. That's the problem. And it's because she's spending too much time hanging out with Kelly.
Yeah.
So Kelly calls her and says she wants her to come and pick her up because she's having a bad time.
Yeah, the guy's a jerk. He threw up in the limo. I don't know. Other things.
Yeah, so...
He's starting to make Steve look good.
So, for some stupid reason, Brenda agrees to steal Brandon's car and go pick her up. What a moron.
Yeah, how did he get to work?
He rode his bike.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He took I think she said motorcycle, right? Or did he just ride a bike?
I think it was a bicycle. I mean, I don't remember ever seeing him on a motorcycle, do you?
No.
And that doesn't really fit his character, does it?
No, Dylan's character maybe.
Yeah.
But.
So she takes the car, she's driving down the road, giving herself a pep talk the whole way about what a great driver she is.
Yeah, and she's doing fine.
And then the car runs out of gas.
Right.
So she walks to the gas station and basically bats her pretty little eyes at the guy and gets him to agree to give her gas and take her back to the car.
Yep.
And she'll pay him tomorrow because she didn't have her wallet.
Yeah, she also left the house without her wallet.
Well, it's not like she had a driver's license in it anyway.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah.
She also told Kelly that the reason that she can't drive yet is because she doesn't have a California driver's license. As if your driver's license is invalid as soon as you leave the state. Anyone that goes on vacation needs to get driver's licenses in every state they're in.
Yeah. I wonder if Kelly has a driver's license. I don't think I have. Yeah, she drives. We've seen her drive.
She's drive.
So she should know. Anyways, when they get there, the car's gone. The car has been stolen.
Mm-hmm.
And how is she going to explain that, right?
She also, like a moron, left the keys in the car.
That was the end of the episode.
But still, I thought it right away. I was like, oh, she left without those keys.
Did you? I didn't notice.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, so yeah, she's a big giant idiot. And then with Brandon, what's going on with him? He's trying out for the basketball team.
Yeah.
Andrea wanted him to cover the tryouts, but instead he's actually trying out.
His dad is, had a big moment in high school. It's that cliche thing where, oh, my glory days in high school, where I hit the big shot to win the game. By the way, if your biggest moment is in high school, you are a loser.
Aw, don't be mean.
Well, you are. I'm sorry. Your best moments in life shouldn't be in high school.
My best moments so far have been in high school.
But we're only in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyone that's actually still in high school, that's fine. If the best moments of your life don't have to have been kindergarten.
You know what? I am pretty sure that his dad's best moments in life were not in high school. I bet they were when he got married and when he had his kids and all that good stuff.
I'll never know.
Oh, shush. So Brandon's trying out, and there are 5 guys who are on the team who are black. And he...
In Lily White, West Beverly High.
And he hears from Steve, of course, about some program in the school that allows people to attend the school that don't live in the district. And apparently no black people live in the district because he just assumes that applies to them. I don't know. I'm
guessing no black people live in the district. It's West Beverly, so probably not. But anyway, yeah, so it's some sort of... It's like for underprivileged people or something like that. They get scholarship or whatever. And Steve says to Brandon that it's like they break the rules. That West Beverly High brings these kids in here just because they're good at sports, and that's why. That's the only reason, not to actually help anyone out.
Yeah.
And they never attend class or anything like that.
Well, and I'm sorry, but in Brandon's defense, with what happens next here, he has never seen the kid in class.
Correct.
So,
never seen any of the kids in class.
Right. So, of course, right after Steve has said this to him, he finally sees one of these kids in his class who gets an extension on the assignment because he's been, playing catch up, I guess.
Yeah, James.
And he leaves again. Like, he doesn't even stay in the class then.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you know what it's like being new or whatever. Yeah, you never show up to class? Okay.
Yeah, it's really weird. It is weird. So he thinks there's a story there, and, he is on the paper, so he's trying to get Andrea to cover the story.
He doesn't want to cover it because, rightly, it's a conflict of interest.
Mm-hmm. And so in her digging around, she finds out that, what was the kid's name again?
James.
That James has not done the placement tests, has no transcripts from the other schools, hasn't, done anything he has basically no record.
He's the only, she says, he's the only kid in school with no grade point average.
Right.
I don't know how that's possible. Especially with what we learn later, I still don't know how that's possible.
Well, here's the thing, though. She was checking in the office of that program.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So the office of that program didn't have any records on him because he wasn't in the damn program.
Yeah, he's not in that program at all.
Brandon runs into him in the library and walks up to him, and I'm sorry, how rude is this? Walks up to him and goes, "What are you doing here?"
Well, also, before then, he confronts him...
Oh, yeah.
Just, like on the grounds of the school, and basically he's it's like what's his name, Frost going after Richard Nixon on TV, in the 70s when that happened. He's just grilling him. Hey, how come you don't have any records and blah 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 and all this stuff.
And he's like, "Why are you poking around in my records?
Yeah.
What right do you have to do that?"
And he's basically he says that he's claiming that he's cheating, and the guy James says that's only because I'm black, and Brandon says I don't care what race you are, it's not fair if this is what you're doing.
Right.
And then he just walks away from him.
Which, if that's what he's doing, it wouldn't be fair. But he's making all sorts of assumptions. So it turns out, he finds out when he confronts him now in the library, that his dad works for the library at West Beverly, and that he's worked there for 15 years, and that entitles him to go to the school.
Yep.
And that his parents decided a month into the semester that they wanted him to go to that school.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not even happy about it. He didn't want to be there. He liked his old school. And now he's playing catch-up.
Yeah, and it's implied that his dad's basically like a janitor for the library or something like that, some sort of maintenance or something like
How
that
is
in the
that
library.
implied? I don't remember.
I think he says something about maintenance, so he does like maintenance work or something for the library.
Okay.
Where he's and that is true. If you work, I think that's true nationwide. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that's true nationwide. That because I think it happened in the Breakfast Club too. Honestly, if you work for the school, then your children are eligible to go to that school if you want them to.
Okay.
And obviously, West Beverly's in a better district with a lot more money, better education and everything. So I can understand why his parents are interested in that. Though if he's worked there 15 years, I don't know why he just didn't start high school there.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. But I guess they weren't happy with whatever was happening at the school he was going to.
Where did he say he was? Inglewood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, towards the end of the episode, him and Brandon end up, becoming friends because they're both, trying out for this basketball team, and and they both show up early to practice, and so they play together and they kind of talk it out, And,
what's unfortunate though is I believe it's French. James is wearing some sort of shirt that it looks like a French logo. It's probably some sort of designerish brand, right? On the back, there's a bunch of French words and phrases on there, too. And the cameraman, the way he frames the shot, where Brandon's standing in front of James and we see James from the back, the first line, the first letter, and they're talking about race while this is happening.
Uh-huh.
Because basically he's saying, look, it doesn't matter. You're not some crack-addicted dude from Inglewood, and I'm not some cowboy. We're just two guys going to the same school battling for a spot on the basketball team. But the top line of his shirt is a word that starts with Nigge.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I forgot about that.
And I was like, well, that's an unfortunate coincidence. Why did they put him in that shirt?
Right?
So yeah, that was weird. But we also forgot to mention there's a heavy implication that Steve Sanders is incredibly racist.
Yes.
By the way, because he talks about how he sees Brandon after he tells him all about the these black kids and stuff that they're getting free rides and they're getting special treatment and blah blah blah. He tells him that he almost called him last night because he had front row tickets to the Lakers game, and Brandon's like, "Oh, I really would have liked to have gone to that." And the Lakers were playing the Celtics, and he's like, "How was Magic?" He's like, "Oh, Magic was Magic, good." From here, by the way, Michigan born and Michigan State alumnus or alumni, Magic Johnson. Just want to point that out. Anyway, so he says, "Oh, he was fine, but Bird was unstoppable and McHale was great on the boards." The two white players for the Boston Celtics, he points out, and he's like, "Well, I thought you were what are you from Boston? I thought why are you a Celtics fan?" And he says, "Yeah, I'm from Beverly Hills, born and raised, but us Irish guys got to stick together." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Oh, you know what I mean." And he says something like that, and he high fives him or something like that, and then walks away. I think the implication is he's talking about white people, that he likes the Celtics because they have two prominent white players on their team. Probably the two most well-known white players in the NBA right now.
Yeah, not good. Steve is just not good.
Or then, anyway. Yeah, really weird. But I think the Irish is supposed to be like code for white.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't think he's actually Irish. Steve Sanders, I don't think is Irish. Sanders is not a well-known Irish name. There might be Irish people whose last name is Sanders, but it's not like his last name's O'Rourke,
right,
or something like that.
O'Leary.
Yeah.
Okay, so the end of the episode, I think we're there now.
Yeah, we're pretty close.
Is Brandon's car gets brought back. They've found it with the keys inside.
Yep.
Now, Brenda never said that she took his car. She let them think that it was stolen from the driveway.
Correct.
And they're talking about, how did, they get in the driveway and take the car and you didn't notice and blah, blah, blah. And then somebody holds up the keys and goes, and why did they leave the keys in?
Yeah, isn't that your key ring, Brenda?
Brenda's key ring? Yeah.
Yeah, and then it just ends. There will be no ramifications for that at all.
I really think she would be severely punished for that.
Yeah, but the next episode they're not going to mention that. Just like we're never going to see these black guys ever again.
Yeah.
They were like, "Hey, we need some black people in the show for like a little bit, but we don't want them in too long." So they put them in one episode. That's their attitude about race relations, in my opinion, on this show.
So I'm going to give it another episode or so, but I might switch to something else because I'm getting a little done with it.
Yeah, we'll probably, especially as the new season of TV shows start, we'll probably switch to something else. I'm sure there's some new shows coming out that'll be interesting.
Sure. For sure, we're going to find something else in the fall.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with 90210. But we did not go to the movie theater this week.
No, we were lazy. We laid around and watched VHS tapes of 90210 and rented movies.
Yep, exactly. So we are going to talk to you about a movie that's very near and dear to my heart. The Elizabeth Shue vehicle, Adventures in Babysitting.
You like her.
No, actually, I don't really find her that attractive.
Really?
I think she's a good actress, but I don't. In this movie, they talk. Everyone's like about how attractive she is and all this stuff and everything. I've never really found her that attractive. No.
I think she's pretty.
She's fine, but I don't think she's ugly or anything. It's just I'm not attracted to her. But I do think she's a good actress, and I like a lot of the '80s movies and sort of the feel and the tone of a lot of different '80s movies. And this is definitely one of my favorites. Why don't you take us through a little bit of Adventures in Babysitting, and then I'll chime in.
Okay, so I do like the movie, so don't get me wrong, but it starts off really cheesy. This little dance number of her in this black dress and her tights, and then she's laying on the bed, like, kicking her feet in the air and stuff. It's like, really?
That's
really?
one of my
favorite.
favorite.
Like that?
That's one of my favorite parts about it is the opening.
Which is why I thought you must like this girl.
No, I like that song, for one, and I think it's just a fun, like, you've never danced around to a song in your bedroom.
Of course I have. Who hasn't? But, so it starts off with that, with her dancing around to the song in her bedroom, getting ready for her date. Mm-hmm. And her boyfriend shows up and blows her off, saying that his sister is sick and he has to take care of her. And, he's so sorry, we'll do the French restaurant next week.
Right.
It's their anniversary, by the way.
Yep.
So immediately I have a very strong suspicion that this Jack Hole.
What? Were you gonna use a ethnic slur or something?
No. Fine, this jackass.
Okay.
Was cheating on her. That was my theory from the beginning.
What anniversary is it of theirs, by the way? Is this like a 1 month thing or like a 3 month anniversary?
I hope it's like a 1 month thing. I mean, apparently, and we spent the whole movie trying to figure this out, but we find out towards the end that she's 17 years old.
Right.
So why is she even going on a date to a frickin' French restaurant? She's still in high school. And how old is that guy supposed to be?
Yeah.
20? 21?
They must have money,
Yeah, I guess.
And we find out that he drives a Camaro with a license plate so cool. They couldn't have made him more of a villain if they tried.
Yeah, he's a giant douche. So she gets blown off, and then these people call asking if she'll babysit, and she has nothing better to do now. So she agrees.
Yep.
Find out that the older boy in this house, who is very close to her age.
He's like 14, I think, or 15. Supposed to be.
I think they said 14?
Yeah. He's a freshman, and she's a senior.
Right. So he has this huge crush on her. It's kind of funny to me, too. Like, the little girl she's supposed to babysit, he's supposed to be going out. And he's looking for his Clearasil when he finds out that she's in the house.
Right.
And his little sister has taken it to use as paint. She's like, I was out of brown.
Yeah.
Like, what? What kid does that? That's ridiculous.
That's funny to me, though.
Yeah.
But she's painting pictures of Thor because she loves Thor. Who gives a shit about Thor?
This little girl.
Yeah, but who cares? Like,
and lots of dweebs.
Thor is such a... I don't read comic books, just so you guys know. I know there are many of you out there that are probably comic book enthusiasts, and that's fine. But I don't read them. The closest I come to like kind of enjoying comic books is like, the Superman movie from the 70s or 1989's Batman movie. Batman Returns is kind of weird. But that's like as close as I get. I watch some of them. But honestly, who cares about... First of all, Marvel, like... I mean... Like, the X-Men cartoon. I like that. It's been out a couple years now. I enjoy the X-Men cartoon. But I think they've got Spider-Man, right? That's the big one, Marvel's
sure.
property.
I have no idea.
Who cares about Thor? Who cares about some of these other B-listers like Iron Man?
Aquaman?
Aquaman's DC, but...
I don't know.
But, like, who cares about Iron Man, Thor, like some of these other ones? The Incredible Hulk had a TV show in the 80s with Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, like, Spider-Man's, like, the only thing that Marvel's got going for them. Who cares about the rest of these things? And the X-Men. The X-Men are cool, too. But, I mean, they're never gonna make, like, Superman, epic, great movie, Christopher Reeve. Batman, Michael Keaton, awesome. They're never going to make a Thor movie. They're never going to make an Iron Man movie. Who the hell would watch that?
The dweebs?
Yeah, so the dweebs would watch it. Fine. But, that's... Anyway.
The same kids that play Dungeons and Dragons, which, by the way, I'm not hating because I like Dungeons and Dragons. Just saying.
Yeah, but no one else is going to watch those movies, so... they're never going to make
They
them.
don't count? They're not people? They don't get a movie?
I'm just saying, I'm saying it's unrealistic that this girl would like Thor.
Well, kids get into weird stuff.
I
Anyways,
guess.
she's into Thor. He's into Chris the babysitter.
Yeah. He'd like to be into Chris the babysitter.
Right. And, she's... why he isn't just staying home and watching his sister, I don't know, because he's obviously old enough. Mm-hmm. But the parents leave. He's still there, I think is weird. And then his friend shows up at the back door and comes in.
And he tries to get rid of him. Well, he tries to get rid of him.
Well, yeah, he does. He does
in.
try. You're right. He does try to get rid of him. He's actually covering up the windows and stuff. He's going to stay in instead of going out because Chris is there. So again, his parents are wasting their damn money.
Yep.
And
they look like they have money to waste, though. This whole area, I questioned whether or not this was written by John Hughes because I wasn't sure. Because all of John Hughes' movies are populated by rich kids that don't know they're rich, because that was John Hughes' experience growing up. But it takes place in Chicago. The movie takes place in the city of Chicago. So I questioned whether or not he wrote it, but he didn't write it.
Okay. I don't know. I kind of never questioned it because you would know.
Yeah.
Because you know all about John Hughes.
Right.
Anyways, her friend calls at their house, at the person that she's babysitting for's house.
Brenda, yeah.
Yeah. To say that she has run away from home.
Because she doesn't like her stepdad or something.
She's at the train station.
Right.
She spent all her money on the cab ride to get to the train station, so she has no money to get home or to take a train anywhere. Mm-hmm. And she wants her to come pick her up.
And the entire time, some homeless man
is funny.
Banging on the booth.
Get out of my house!
Right. And there's a dude standing across from her, just showing her a gun. Just keeps pulling it out of his trench coat and smiling
like a freak,
like a psychopath. like he's saying, "Hey, I got a gun." It's the weirdest thing in the world, and. I figured it out towards the end of the movie when she's being accosted by all the ghosts of Christmas past, all the people that she's run into throughout the bus station for the entire movie. He's just a crazy guy. Like, it might not even be a real gun.
Right.
It might not work. It's probably not loaded. He's just nuts.
Right.
Like, he's just a weird vagrant.
So she is trying to say no, but somehow gets talked into it. This is mistake number one. I realize had she not made this mistake, there'd be no movie. But stupid. No. Tell her to call her parents. What an idiot. So she's like, okay, you watch your sister. I'll be back in an hour. Mm-hmm. But the kids blackmail her because they want to go into the city because they think it's going to be some awesome thing to go pick up her friend.
They think they're going to have an adventure.
Right. Well, they do. But
in babysitting.
Right. Ha, ha, ha. But, I don't get why the kids even want to go.
And she's like, I can't take you into the city. Like there's dragons roaming around the city or something. I know Chicago can be a dangerous place, but holy hell.
Well, I don't know. I can imagine that a parent might be upset if the babysitter took their children into the city when they're supposed to be in their house where they're safe.
In a car?
I don't know. So,
if everything that had happened didn't happen, then it wouldn't have been a big deal.
So, I'm so sorry.
Is there a carbon monoxide leak down here? What the hell?
I spent the whole day outside and I have the sunburn and I'm tired. It happens. Hey, I had a fun day. Now
Good
I'm tired.
for you.
Yeah, so they go to get Brenda.
I watched St. Elsewhere today.
Good for you.
It was good for me.
That sounded really dirty.
Well,
I don't know how much you like that show, but
Dr. Morrison.
Oh.
No, my favorite one on the show is Ed Begley Jr.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but
okay, so they're in the car.
Yeah.
And they get a flat tire on the freeway. So that's scary to begin with. Mm-hmm. Like, their car is just, flying around the freeway. And the kids are all, acting like this is great fun.
Yeah, and that one dude's just laughing.
Yeah. Oh, I hated the sound of his laugh, too. Oh, my God. Every time he laughs, I just want to punch him in the face.
Seriously.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. So they're pulled over to the side of the freeway. Luckily, no one is hurt. They have a flat tire. And this guy pulls over to help them, and they act all crappy to him. Don't you think they were kind of crappy to him?
Yeah, well, they act like he's going to murder them in the middle of the freeway because they're cloistered suburbanites. And she had been telling a scary story about a babysitter babysitting some kids whose faces get scraped off by a hook-hand guy. And he pulls his hands out from behind his back, and he's got a hook for a hand. So then they all scream, and someone's like, he's going to scrape our faces off. Yeah, so he's like, hey, I'll tow the car for you to the garage, and you can get it fixed.
But, she says she doesn't have any money, and he says, I'll treat you to a new tire.
Yeah.
Which, that would make me a little suspicious. People don't usually just do nice things for no reason.
Well, she is a pretty girl, I guess.
Exactly, but what does he want from the pretty girl? That's my concern.
I think he's a pretty I think he's against adultery.
Well, yeah, I guess.
And he's married, so...
Based on the next scene, we can say that, yeah.
So he's driving them to get their new tire, and he gets a call over the radio that that car is outside his house again, or whatever. And she's like, she's with that bastard again. So he drives home.
Like a maniac.
Yeah, and crashes in front of his house, breaks inside, pulls a gun out from his glove box, kicks down his door, and his wife is cheating with some dude. Not cool.
Right.
Obviously. Apparently in the living room as well. And he pulls out a gun, and she's grabbing his arm. Don't kill him. He's trying to shoot this guy dead. Shoots a hole through the windshield of her car. Mm-hmm. And so, they get out. They're all freaked out. There's bullets flying around everywhere. They get into a Cadillac that's sitting in front of the house. That happens to be that guy's car. He comes out. He's still pulling his pants up, knocking on the window. That's my car. And
get out of my car.
She's like, lock the doors. And the doors, automatically lock, even though no one pushed it. She looks, and there's a guy stealing the car.
Yeah. Now, were I those kids, I would have probably jumped out of the car.
Yeah, although the doors were locked.
Yeah.
Once doors lock in a car in a movie, they cannot be unlocked.
So he just finishes hot wiring the car and takes off with all these people in the car. Mm-hmm. Now, and were I him, I would have told them to get the fuck out of the car.
Yeah. He starts driving, and she says, you can let us off here. And he's like, oh, this is a really bad neighborhood. I wouldn't even get out here. So they're obviously in the south side of Chicago.
Right.
And he says, I've got some business to take care of first. Then I'll drop you wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just say, we need to get to, we need our car or whatever? You just I don't know.
They did, because remember he was able to say which car garage they needed to get to.
But they hear that later. They get that information later.
Okay.
But anyway, so because their car's not at a garage yet.
But
their car's still attached to
going to be.
Yeah. But anyway, so he's like, but he takes them to the chop shop. Why you would take a babysitter and 3 kids to your chop shop, I have no idea.
Well, how old do you think this kid was? I mean, he doesn't look that old either.
Yeah.
Probably maybe 18.
18, 19, something like that.
So, I mean...
So they go to the chop shop, and they, the main bad guy that's there, Skullface, he says he's got very tight skin, very thin face.
Yeah, he's very creepy.
But anyway, so in a really creepy voice, they cast very well. It's like, take him upstairs. I can't do it. But he says, take him upstairs. We'll deal with him after the meeting. So the one kid sees a Playboy there that he wanted because there's a subplot to this that this girl, Elizabeth Shue, is supposed to look like the girl in this Playboy magazine, this centerfold. And he tried to show Brad while they were in the car, and he threw it out the window. So he wants a replacement. So he grabs this one out of the thing, and they get out. They climb up to the roof, then they take the ladder down, and they start running away. The people notice, and the guy says in a very, very clearly ADR'd line, which stands for additional dialogue recording. It's what they do to overdub if the audio is kind of compromised in some way. There's a lot of background ambient noise, or the line didn't get recorded quite properly. It's hard to hear, or they replace the line with something else. They use ADR. It's where you basically go into a studio, say the line, and they dub it into the movie. But it's always really noticeable. And it's really noticeable in this one, too. And he's like, oh, all the, the notes about the Philadelphia shipment. I don't know what the fuck they're doing in this thing. They're chopping up cars and sending the parts to different cities
I don't know.
for sale, I guess. I don't know. It's some weird criminal enterprise. But he says that could put us away for 20 years. I don't know how, unless he signed the notes. I don't get any of it, but whatever. So they want the Playboy back, so they're going after him. And then they go on, an adventure. They go to a blues club where they're forced to sing a really weird song, the Babysitting Blues.
No one gets out of here without singing the blues.
Right, exactly. And then they go to a frat party that also has live music for some reason.
That looked fun. I want to go to a frat party.
Yeah, well, frat parties can be fun. So they go to a frat party where two of the guys are like, "Oh, it's her, it's Miss March," and the I don't know, the love interest guy, I guess, whatever. He doesn't really have a name, I don't think. Do they give him a name?
No. Beautiful Eyes, that's his name.
Beautiful Eyes, okay. Yeah, he does have nice eyes, I guess. He was in that movie.
Yeah. He was in that movie.
You know the movie I'm talking about.
The one about getting married.
Father of the Bride.
Yes.
Yeah, he was the husband. He was the husband of the bride.
Yeah.
In Father of the Bride. Anyway, so yeah, he was in that, and you know him. So he he says, "Oh, it's not her. What would Miss March be doing at a Kappa party or whatever the hell it is?"
Yeah.
Lolita Davidovich from Intersection, which we've talked about. She, the very young Lolita Davidovich. Now, she is much more attractive than Elizabeth Shue, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. They're both pretty.
She starts making out with the one kid, the one that's not Brad.
Yeah, the friend.
Yeah, because her boyfriend's not attentive enough or something.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of excuse she used, but yeah.
But anyway, they start making out. The guy notices, wants to beat the crap out of him.
Which, it's not his fault, because she totally just, jumped him.
Yeah, oh, exactly. Yeah, she forced herself on him, and I'm telling you, this guy does not deserve to have sex forced upon him. It's just not right.
He did not seem to mind. He was not complaining.
Well, I'm just saying it's not right. What if it was a situation that he didn't want?
Well, of course that's different, but I mean he was very he thanked the babysitter for the best night of his life to this point.
That's true.
He clarified up to this point. See, he knows his life's going to get better outside of high school.
I guess it's justified. Anyway, so anyway, they get out of there. The nice eyes or whatever. He stops the guy from beating the crap out of him. He also gives them $45 to get their tire fixed.
Yeah.
Oh, because I forgot. We skipped the part where they go to the L train, and there's two gangs that are about to have a gang war in the middle of them sitting there. They're in the middle of it. So he stands up and he's like, "Hey, let's not do this. We don't want to get hurt. We're just going to get off the train, blah, blah, blah." And he throws a knife into his shoe, cuts him, and they take him to the hospital, and he has one stitch.
Yeah.
But there's another guy with knife wounds that dies from the knife wounds. So when they see the doctor, they're like, "Hey, our guy was in a knife fight or whatever. What happened to him?" He's like, "Oh, he's dead." And so she faints, and they're trying to revive her. And then he comes out, and he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And his sister gives him a big hug, and his friend gives him a hug. He's like, "Don't die on me," and everything.
It was cute, yeah.
So that's when they see the guy, the tow truck guy.
Yeah.
Because he's at the hospital because he beat the shit out of this guy and that was cheating on his wife with him. And so He sees them. He pushes the guy down. They run out, together. The cops are coming after him. And he's like, hey, this is the place I took it to. I paid for the windshield because that was on me. But you'll have to pay for the tire. It's going to be $50. It's at this garage.
Which, what the hell? He said he was going to buy them a tire.
Well, he already paid for the windshield.
That was on him.
Yeah, I agree. But, he might not have had enough money.
Oh, that's
that windshield
true.
was probably expensive.
Yeah.
So he's like, go to this garage. It'll be $50 for the tire. And she's like, oh, I don't have $50. Can't you go with us? Talk to us. He's like, I'm a fugitive from the law now. So he runs away. We never see him again.
Right.
So anyway, this guy at the frat party gives her $45 to pay for the tire. And she's like, I'll, pay you back or whatever. So they're going out and they see a toy store that the girl wants to, look at and everything. And then they see a French restaurant. And guess whose car is outside that French restaurant?
So cool.
Yeah, exactly. So they go in there and he's eating dinner with someone. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm not attracted to Elizabeth Shue, but, she's a fine-looking woman or whatever. This girl that he was with looked like a toad.
Oh, yeah. She was way ugly.
And her hair was done up like she was welcoming home her fiance from World War II. So, she's like, oh, she basically rips into him verbally about this and how he's cheating on her. And he's like, hey, our relationship isn't as strong as you seem to think it was. You're some little girl that thinks you're in love, or whatever. And it's just like a fling. And Brad stands up for her. And he's like, yeah, well, good luck with her because her legs are welded together at the knees.
Yeah.
Basically saying she's a virgin and, she wouldn't give it up. So that's why he's going out with this Uggo. And the Uggo laughs at that joke, by the way. So she's some kind
Obviously,
of slut.
Yeah.
So anyway, Brad, kind of gives this speech and he's like, I'd love to hit you right now, but I'm not going to because I'm not going to sink to your level. And his friend goes, I will, and kicks him in the back and knocks him over. Chaos ensues. And the little girl with the Thor helmet on, is she's taken some desserts.
Yeah, she stole some dessert.
And she's at the toy store just looking in the window. That's when somehow the gangsters have tracked them down and found them, and they pick her up and grab her.
Yeah, this is where the movie gets a little ridiculous, but yeah.
So then they go after go ahead from there after they grab him.
Well, I know they grab her, and doesn't she get away, though, because she's, trying to make it to, she sees the building where her parents are at, for her dad's party.
She violates the one rule of movies in that she pulls up the lock on the door and jumps out and runs towards the building where her dad's building. So, yeah, she goes in there, she takes the elevator up to the top floor, and they chase her up there. She decides the only thing that she can do is climb out the window.
Yeah.
So she climbs out the window and she's hanging on to the window. It's like a slanted, sloped window, and it's literally probably, I don't know, 1,000 feet up.
Yeah, it was 40 something stories, that building.
Yeah, it's a very tall building, so instant death if you fall.
And the bad guy, one of the bad guys that's chasing her, comes to the window, looks out, and is trying to save her.
Yeah, he's like, oh God, like all they want's their playboy. At least this guy,
Right.
It's not the young black kid, it's the older black guy, the one that punched him
Yeah.
for bringing the kids. But he's trying to put a rope out there. He's like, come on, kid, and she's not grabbing it. So he climbs out on the window. I'm sorry, this is heroic.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have done this. He climbs out in the window, he's like, oh God, because he wants to save her from, falling to her death.
Yeah, he's out there trying to save her, and she continues to, back away from him and stuff. She thinks that he's trying to hurt her, which, I don't think they ever want to hurt her. They just want to get their playboy.
Well, at least he didn't. The other guy, it's debatable.
So her family comes, and not her parents, but her brother and them come, and they're able to save her. They're able to use the rope and get her up there.
Right. And then the black guy is still out there. And the young black kid, Joe, I think his name is Joe Gipp or something like that.
Sure.
I can't remember, but I think that's what it is. He, they're like, what about him? And he looks out and he just kind of laughs and he's like, well, let him sweat it out there for a little bit. It's implied that he's going to give him the rope at some point, but I mean, the guy is clinging for his life.
Yeah, that's really, really crappy.
And he went out to save this girl. So then they're going to leave, and they see the main bad guy, and he's like, they give him the Playboy, and he's like, okay, go down to the car, I'll take care of them. Like, it's implying that he's gonna
kill him.
Yeah, he's gonna kill him or something. So this guy has bad intentions.
Yeah,
obviously. And then the young kid just punches him in the face, knocks him out, and then they run away. They get in the car. They see the parents on the way home, and they all duck down.
Even the driver, even the babysitter who's driving.
Yeah, safe. And speed past him, and he's like, how fast do your parents drive? And he says about 45. 45 on the freeway, the 55-mile-an-hour freeway. Right. So weird. But she's like, we'll do 80. So they drive 80 all the way home. They get home. Everyone gets in their bed. Everything's cool. She doesn't have her skate. She wants to go back.
Right. Yeah, that's not happening.
So they get home. Everything's cool. The parents come home. She's like, oh, everything's great. And she goes out and says, I think I'm retired from babysitting and everything. They want to do this again next weekend. Brad also says, hey, I know that seniors don't hang out with freshmen. By the way, seniors date freshmen.
Well, yeah, if it's the guy that's the senior.
Yeah. I mean, I went out on a date with a senior when I was a freshman before we were together.
What?
Yeah.
Who?
Her name was Lacey.
Okay, well, Lacey is a perv.
Okay.
Senior girls do not date freshman boys.
But it's not pervy for a senior guy to date a freshman girl?
No.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
I don't know why. I can't explain it to you, but no.
Okay. Anyway, so, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah, so he says that, I know they don't hang out, so if you ignore me, it's cool. And she's like, I don't ignore friends, Brad. So, they're going to be friends now, I guess.
Yeah.
And she goes outside, and Nice Eyes is there. He found the skate. She left it there. It's got the dress on it. It's like, oh, I thought the girl would need this, and everything. It's
like Cinderella.
Yeah, exactly.
Prince Charming shows up with the shoe.
And then they kiss, and Brad weirdly, creepily, waves goodbye to her as he slowly closes the blinds. It's one of the weirdest things ever.
Yeah.
That's how the movie ends. Oh, we forgot too, they meet Thor. The guy that runs the place is played by Vincent D'Onofrio, who you might recognize as Private Pyle from Full Metal Jacket. But anyway, he's he looks like Thor. He's got the long blonde hair and everything, and they're $5 short, and he's like, screw you, you don't get a tire. And the girl comes up to him, and she's like, oh, I know why you're not acting, because she thinks he's really Thor. She's like, I know why you're not acting nice, because you don't have your helmet. And he's going to give her the helmet. He's like, you're going to give me this? And so he's like, all right, your tire, that's cool, and he throws it at. He's like, I got one of these at home, which is funny, implying that he actually is Thor.
See, maybe more people like Thor than you realized.
It's dumb. But anyway, so that's the movie. That's how it ends. What did you think of the film?
I would give it a solid B. I think that it was good. It's not great, but it's cute.
I like rollicking adventure 80s movies.
Yeah, it's an 80s movie. I mean, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so that is our episode for the week. That's how long we do these.
Yeah.
Do all the things. Do it all. Go where you know where you can find us and give us money.
What about Blockbuster Pick of the Week?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I guess we'll end this episode as we end every episode with our Blockbuster Pick of the Week.
Right. And that this week is Philadelphia.
Well, that's your pick.
Well, it's my pick. Philadelphia, which we already talked about. If you want to go back and hear all about our opinion of this movie, go back to our first episode.
Yeah.
But
find that tape.
Right.
Not labeled, but we say the date. Oh, I forgot to say the date.
Did you really?
Yeah,
I think you said it.
It's June 1st, 1994.
It is not. It's not June 1st. It's July.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. It's July
2nd.
It's July 2nd, 1994. 94.
What were you doing before we started recording? Anyways, Philadelphia, great movie with Tom Hanks and what's his name? Yeah.
Denzel Washington
Denzel
from St. Elsewhere.
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun,
No.
dun, dun, dun,
No,
dun,
no.
dun.
Nope.
He was on St. Elsewhere.
Anyways, I love it. You should see it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I got. So that's our episode for the week. If you want to give money to Carol's Locker, you can, I don't know.
Money, money, money.
Money. Do all the stuff. You know what you need to do. Tell us how great of a job we're doing, too. We love that.
Love notes.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.
Bye.